you guys kept messaging us. I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but they live in an RV. And Mike's like, who are they? I'm like, I don't know. We're going to the museum with them today. I don't even know who they are. Like you got like a bag in your closet.
Yeah, cut that by the way.
Of course I will. Whatever.
You know, my brother. Is this my Valentine's Day cookie? Yeah. Thank you.
Hensley really eat that probably.
Yeah, she tried.
The foam insulation around our front door did.
Oh yes, more cookies. Normal for us, right?
I heard him whisper like, God, they're filming.
Yeah.
That worked.
After the video.
Yep, after the video.
I forget
And you guys get welcome to our life.
Cookies!
that crash.
Graham's waiting.
Cookies again. Nathan and Marissa aren't out of this either. Hensley is in cahoots with Graham right now.
Yeah, we're on a time
way too
frame.
quiet.
Her time's coming.
There's Hensley.
Talk through it. That's just what we have to do. Talk through the crying.
But see, the nice thing is that we don't ever get stressed out about it because we all have families and we're like, we love all of these kids. They're like trying both of the doors.
Mike, this is Mike's worst nightmare with company right now, just so you know. He's at
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
He's gonna like cry himself to sleep.
dying.
No, they're insulting crackers all over.
Seriously, that is. So don't say
I told the kids, I'm like, eat the saltines outside. They know that we're distracted here.
that. No.
Yeah, we'll do whatever we
Our kids
want.
aren't coming out because they're like, sweet, don't contact them. Just do whatever you want in here to attract, you know, hundreds of thousands of viewers. And those stories still need to be told.
Sorry, that was like the best spill. That was awesome. So hey friends, we have some very special guests that we're here with tonight. This is just such a wonderful privilege of ours and you know, just to sound extra weird because they're all looking at me right now. Just a good occasion to gather up great friends and have a good kind of interview time here. We're gonna talk here to Mike and Megan, North and South. Say hey.
Hey.
And we've got Nathan and Marissa.
Hey.
With Less Junk, More Journey. We're all having a campfire tonight. So
campfire.
it's a YouTube campfire. Woo! What prompted you to take this adventure and why the RV with all of your kids, right?
Yeah.
People
totally.
will say to
we
us,
wanted to
oh,
leave the kids behind, but
Yeah.
we realized we had to bring them.
Legally.
So.
You're crazy. No. People will say to us, like, you have 9 kids in an RV? It's like, well, we have 9 kids at home, too. So it's not like by being at home, we wouldn't have 9 kids. Like, that's
true.
That's always there.
But why did we want to do it in the first place?
I
Do you remember?
think we're already homeschooling. We've been homeschooling for almost a decade. And we were already traveling a lot for our homeschooling. I think our ideal homeschooling as unschoolers was to just put the kids in situations where they could absorb a lot of information and experience a lot of new things, which would then lead them to explore new ideas. And so we were doing a lot of day trips. And then also we hadn't considered it before, even though we'd thought about it actually. We had considered it, but had
Discounted it, like.
because we thought there was no way that we could all fit into an RV.
But before we knew that there was even, we made that decision. Like, you just had the feeling like
I
we
really
should do
think it was like the Lord or God. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, because because we didn't learn how to do it until we decided to do it. Really, I mean, when
Yeah.
it comes down to it.
And so then, if the next question is how we learned how to do it, it was by watching Nathan and Marissa's YouTube channel.
How not to do it.
Plug. There you go.
So I think we really felt like it was the thing to do. We didn't really have a really.
Mike and I definitely live like that, right? Oh, I
Yeah.
just talked over him. Great. I'm out.
It's okay.
No, we live where it's like we kind of feel
From the
it
gut.
out. Like, does it feel right? We follow our hearts.
Yeah.
And it
Not our
just
brains.
all of a sudden felt right to do it. felt like that's what we were supposed to do.
So you heard it from Mike and Megan. Don't follow your brain, follow your heart.
Right.
But our brains can like fear. Like fear comes and like just the
You can overthink things. Or
you overthink things and then you never do anything.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like, I think our minds have learned that our hearts are in charge, so there isn't too much conflict there.
We're a fire, ready, aim kind of
Yeah.
person.
Anyways,
That's good.
Aim. I love it.
You know, what is the biggest thing that prompted you to say, like, let's take an adventure in an RV? Megan's trying to eat a cracker without it being so loud.
It was this girl right here, really, that kind of started it. I was on maternity leave and was dreading going back full time, and then Nathan stumbled across a video on the internet of a family that was doing this, and he's like, "You wouldn't want to do anything like this, would you?" And I was like, "That sounds awesome. Yeah, let's do that." So it was about a year of planning and downsizing and.
Easiest pitch of my life. I just literally just showed her a video.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
It was a great video.
And you guys said you never found that family again? Like,
We've never ran into them or know. I hope they're a real family. That would be kind
I
of a
wonder if it was like an
heartbreaker.
advertisement either for Ford, because the Ford truck played a prominent role in that. I don't know if you noticed that in that video.
Oh,
There's a
don't
Ford
tell me
truck
that.
in there.
the whole time.
no, it's a real family. It's a real family.
you know of this video?
I watched, they told me about it. I went and watched it. It was beautiful. But don't you wonder sometimes, because everybody who does it knew somebody else that kind of inspired them to do it. It's like, who's the first person that did this? Was it like a dang
Oh,
magician?
that's a really good question.
But I mean, really, like,
research and find the.
First caveman to like.
no, but like,
No, the first-
She was like, I guess, you know, you do hear stories of like people growing up in like the 70s whose parents like traveled in a camper, you know.
Right. We've heard some people that have said that to us, like, "Oh yeah, I grew up in a camper as a kid, or in a van."
But it's usually said like my parents were incredibly eccentric, you know.
That's
It's
all right.
become a lot more acceptable in mainstream. For me, when we first decided to do this, it was like there's this box, like, you know, you live in a house, you know, in a certain type of neighborhood, you do certain things with your kids, lessons and sports, and I knew that by moving into an RV with the kids and going on this trip that I was leaving that box. But it was like, oh, I'm just going to go out for just a bit, but I promise I'll be back, okay? And it was kind of like that was the way I'd frame it when I tell our friends, like, it's just a trip, and we're going to be back, and we're going to get right back into that box, I promise, you know? Don't worry about us, we're going to be in the box again. And once we left, though, the brilliant thing is, as soon as you leave and can turn back and, like, look at the box, you're like, oh my gosh, that box is crazy. Like, I'm never getting back in there. You know, almost like some Brave New World kind of like sci-fi thing where it's like everybody's been living in this weird like bubble, and once you get outside you want to be like, oh my gosh, like you don't have to do that.
I think
Graham.
I love Marissa. I think your story is so inspiring because people feel so trapped and like I want to be with my family, but I think we just didn't. I think for most part, and I think that's true for you and for us, like we just didn't know it was possible. We didn't know there was any other way but to like get a job, get a house, leave your kids, you know, leave each other, go to work, come back each evening, see each other for a few hours, and that's just what's normal. And it's when other people do it, you're like, oh, can we do that? Is that possible? And so you kind of have to like hold on to what they're doing until you actually do it, and then you kind of do the same for other people.
I'd say that's our biggest regret is that we didn't know about it sooner. We're like, why did we not think of this ahead of time? But you're right. I mean, I had never known of any other way.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that's what you did.
Oh.
That was funny.
That was a great sneeze.
Sometimes it comes out the other end. That's when it's funny. No,
That's so silly.
I can make it fun.
Would you like that?
yeah.
Yeah. This is the best thing about all this is like we're family. You know, we are all families here, and so this is part of our lives. Interruptions with families. You know, it's great. I think though to add to that, like there's a big part to where a lot of our viewers are being inspired by us and by the lives we're leading, and that to me is very inspiring. You guys have been inspiring to us as well. I think what you two couples have stumbled upon really is kind of this revolution of the family in the RV having an adventure world via YouTube. You know, I mean, there's so many people asking that question. And from the side of like what you talked about earlier, like who was the first one to do this? And really, people have probably been RVing with their families for a long time. It's only till recently now that people are vlogging about it, they're capturing it, and really reality TV is now becoming a reality. And you've got you guys really, both of you families are really kind of on the forefront of like who's doing that, you know?
Well, the reason why we did our YouTube channel in the first place was to show a happy functioning family is what it really came down to. Like we wanted to show like that's possible.
Because you guys started before.
We had some vlogs before we ever moved in the RV, and we started doing that before we even planned on the RV thing happening.
Yeah. It's funny, when I told somebody that I was going to do that, and they're
vlog?
like, yeah, I said, we're just going to do it about like
whatever,
what,
YouTube
our happy
channel.
family. And she's like, are you a happy family? Kind of like, but you're not really, right? And I think that was
forgot about that,
part
yeah.
of why we wanted to do it is like, families get bad press these days. They don't get a lot of good press. It's like, we all like love to say that every family's dysfunctional if you just knew what was really going on. And I don't think that's true. And I think it's actually really important to stand up for the family because all sorts of crazy things happen once we say the family's not important anymore. We wanted to be a doorstop that said, no, families are still relevant. People still like having children. You know, today was Valentine's Day and I posted about how our love grew when we had kids. Because I think if I were young and I watched TV and talked to people, it seems like hell to have kids. You're gonna have postpartum depression. Your kids are you're gonna have to just sit at sports every Saturday. Like your life is
keep
over.
bugging you while you're trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Which really, it's like you kind of chuckle. The right attitude is to chuckle about that and enjoy that they're kids. You know,
Or,
I mean, like
you can be frustrated.
like look at
but-
this.
Yeah.
Like look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's precious. You know, you got the family represented. You know, right here. You know, and that's kind of fun. Yeah, it's like you said, it's not the box that everybody's used to, but everybody's scared about going into a different box. You know.
No, and I guess we also hope that our channel inspires people to know that they can live life on their own terms.
Right.
That they can do anything. And I imagine you guys feel the same way.
Yeah, talk to us about
we do.
that.
Like the Knorps, I mean, we do this to make a difference because a video made a difference for us. I think our message, it's about family as well, but it's also, you know, the title of our channel, Less Junk, More Journey, is just challenging yourself to live with less so you can do what you really want to do with life. And, you know, we've downsized again with an AIRSTREAM because we felt like by having a smaller space and you know, not just the space, but the amount of money it takes to maintain that space, the amount of time it takes to maintain that space, that we can have more freedom to do the things that we love to do. So that's kind of the message we've pushed with our channel.
Yeah, and I would say, like, from my perspective of both of your channels, they're both very unique. You guys have such and you've heard us say this, you've had such an awesome positive influence on family and adoption, which I think is so spectacular to see. You guys have such a spectacular, family channel, but informational that helps so many people actually take this leap. Because I'll be honest, like when people watch Trent and Siobhán, like they probably won't get a lot of informational stuff on how to actually take that leap, and that's a big deal. You guys have helped a lot of people in that, and so for that perspective, I think that you guys are highly influential in that.
Well, video was such a huge impact on us. I mean, that's what got us started. So we thought if we could be that, what that channel was to us, to one family, and change their whole life, like totally worth it. It's just, video's a great way to actually see this lifestyle and see people living it. And we didn't even know it was possible.
Well, I mean, we started off blogging, and then video is just so much more personal. You can see and feel and connect with somebody so much faster with video. And we want our channel to be more than just, it is informational and it is about how you can take your journey, but we want to be relational as well, because I think when you have a relationship with somebody like through video, it makes it easier. It kind of pushes you a little more to change your life if you feel like you have that relational connection with someone versus, it's just, just information there. And so that was part of our goal, to kind of mix those two together, I guess, with the channel.
I don't want to put you guys in the box of informational only, because your stuff is really adventure too. It's the less junk side of the journey that I think is so compelling. And I mean, you guys have the side of like, wait, what? 9 kids? Are you crazy? What are you doing?
I was at Disney yesterday, and a lady was like, "Are all these kids yours?" I had 4 with me. I'm like, "Yeah, these 4." And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Yes." And she's like, "Well, bless your heart." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I have 5 more over there." She's like, "What?" I love doing that, actually. Because she was already thinking, "Wow, Mom."
Yeah.
Bless your heart in the South means like,
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
No,
yeah.
that means you can say, we know this, yeah. You can say whatever you want, it's okay.
Whatever mean thing you want.
it is so intriguing to find out from other families why they're doing it, kind of where they want to go with it. YouTube is to me super intriguing. Nathan said it too, like he had a blog, but maybe it just wasn't his thing. And people are flocking to YouTube more and more this year. Apparently these guys have their theories on that too, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it,
Yeah, I think our kids were watching YouTube for homeschool, and I was changing my belief of what YouTube was. Like, I thought it was mostly just like cat videos and skateboarding videos, stuff like that. Stuff you'd share with your friends when they were over. But as they were watching these channels, they were really well produced, and I was really into that. And I'd had a lot of blogs over the years, but I also studied film in school, movies. And had been a photographer for a dozen years, and so it was like, I want to play, I want to make movies.
Yeah. And Nathan, you didn't do any video editing before you started this, right?
No. I just kind of picked it up and went for it. Our first 6 months, we had nothing but a iPhone and a GoPro. Our first 6 months. So.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow. He's the boss. He's really good at it.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
But I think YouTube is. I was telling Nathan this the other day, but it's like, to me, like super American, in that idea that like anybody can make it and anybody can do it with an iPhone. Everybody's got a freaking iPhone, and that nobody can come and say you're not right for this. Your story's not worth telling. As long as somebody else thinks your story is worth watching, then you can be successful on YouTube. And to me, that's really exciting.
So, okay, quick fire round. Somebody says, I'm going to quit my job and start a YouTube channel right now. Do you think that's a great idea?
No.
I go now.
Your name is Casey Neistat, yes.
You go with no? You sure?
Yeah, we'll go with no, yeah.
You're not gonna even defend that one at all.
I just think, just to keep it simple, no.
Okay, where in all of your travels would you tell somebody if they were asking, like, where should they go first?
I would find, if you're a family, I would find an event where you can meet other families and get connected.
I wish
if
that's
we
something
start
we
over,
said
yeah.
we wish we would have known from the very
Yeah,
beginning,
that's not
because
really a
we
place
spent like
that-
a whole year alone. So we're like, maybe if we would have known of some event, we could have connected with people.
Yeah. And that could be if you have a certain RV brand, AIRSTREAM, Newmar, you could go to people with the same RV, or you could go to with full-time families, or whatever it is. Just find some way to. I think connection is a big part, because there's only 3 of us. If there's 11 of us, it might not be as big.
We try to avoid connecting.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got plenty of connecting going on.
So
So
you'd probably say like the desert where nobody's ever.
I actually would say somewhere like a beautiful national park or something where you're not going to be spending a lot of money, so you don't get too freaked out about that. Like, no, just free stuff like a beach, something like southern Utah where you can go on lots of hikes.
Yeah. Somewhere pretty and relaxing.
Yeah,
That's what
because
I'd
you're
say.
already stressed enough.
Fifth wheel or motorhome?
Or both if you're.
yeah, just buy one every 6
buy
months.
one.
Either way, you're going to change your mind, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, very true.
I think if you're moving every 5 days-ish or so, and you can do it with the right number of kids, because I think it'd be hard with a lot of kids, I would go motorhome. But if you have a lot of kids, or if you're going to stay in a place for a long period of time, 2 weeks or more, that kind of thing, I would lean more toward like a fifth wheel, something like that.
Ditto.
I'd vote for motorhome.
Yeah, me
if
too.
if you can, you're first for
Just so you
the
can
amount
be
of
together,
people.
Yeah.
It's just the advantage of the setup time and stuff, and parking is just a little bit easier, but just being able to access everything while you go down the road. It's pretty
While
nice.
you're traveling.
Yeah, it's nice.
Where is your future taking you guys, let's say, over the next 6 months?
Up the East Coast.
No clue.
We're last minute planners.
In general, we think we're going northwest, Montana, Wyoming, that area, and we think we may be going northeast
For the
around
fall.
Maine, yeah, Boston in the fall.
What is the most favorite place that your family has been to so far?
Dang it. That's a question we hate.
I think it's,
Really?
for me, it's between the Oregon coast and southern Utah, the Red Rocks. That was like the best 2 weeks was in southern Utah. And then Oregon coast
Coast is
was like
beautiful.
mind-blowingly amazing.
Yeah, I'll go with you on those two.
Good job.
See, we hadn't been to those places.
You should go.
You haven't been to either one?
No.
No,
Next, yeah,
You got
do that.
close when you went to Colorado.
Our plan was to go into Utah too, but we loved Colorado so much we never left.
Moab was endless, beautiful hikes, and so was St. George. And they never got old. It was so different than anywhere else. It was so beautiful. And then the same thing with the Oregon coast. I just don't think there's anywhere that looks like that. And it's like magical because it's misty and green, and then huge waves and rocks, and it was awesome.
Anyways.
That was a good quick.
we did love Colorado. You get a little bit of everything. You can go from sand dunes to snowy peaks to rivers and waterfalls, and just and then we also get a change of pace. Albuquerque, the Balloon Fiesta, was pretty awesome.
That was awesome.
Which is an event once a year in Albuquerque, but it's a good one to schedule if you're anywhere near there.
Okay, one thing you love about Less Junk, More Journeys vlog.
So
Megan's
well
got
crafted.
lots.
They are so well crafted, which is like every time they never disappoint. I'm probably putting the pressure on now. But, yeah, like I think that's rare on YouTube. I think most people just throw something up there and expect that they're interesting enough that it should fly. But I think Nathan puts a lot of effort into this, and I appreciate it. I feel respected as a viewer.
All right, put in the time for you. Yeah, that's true. That's good.
I love Marissa's accent. Wish you were talking more tonight, because that's like my one goal of meeting them is that I could listen to Marissa talk more.
That's funny. Sometimes I hear it's like on YouTube they said it
nails
was
on a
like nails on a
chalkboard.
chalkboard. Yes.
What?
Oh man,
It's a love
terrible.
Love-hate.
Yes.
Okay, what's one thing you love about Less Junk, More Journeys vlog? I'm just joking. What's one thing you love about North and South vlog?
I think they're
I've never
real.
watched one.
I think they're real. I think Megan speaks her mind, and I think they're open and honest, and they show what it's like with a family. Even though it's like one kid to us is mind blowing, but 9 kids, I mean, but it's really nice to see that they're still. And we've had the pleasure of hanging out with them in person too. But it's just great to see their family and how close they are, and just.
That's stellar. All right, what's one thing you love about Trent and Siobhán?
I think Trent and Siobhán I knew when you guys kept messaging us. I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but they live in an RV, and Mike's like, who are they? I'm like, I don't know, we're going to the museum with them today. I don't even know who they are. But when I watched your vlogs, I was impressed, and I knew that you guys would be successful. I think you do a really good job of being open and happy, and I think your willingness to sing in Chick-fil-A was like, you guys will be just fine. In the middle
True
of Chick-fil-A,
musicians.
like you were singing us a blessing in Chick-fil-A, like you can see like people behind them are like, what's going on right now?
I told Tim when I first watched Shell's videos, I was like, okay, these guys have awesome personalities. They're way more interesting than we are. They're really fun to watch. So you're just very happy and open and just very interesting, and so I just can't help but watch.
So thank you guys so much for joining our video. I'm going to try to get everybody in. This was a lot of fun to spend time with you guys, to get to know you, and really appreciate your friendship and your leadership in our life, the things that we can look into. And so I want to thank you guys. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you like watching our show. And remember, we can make the world better.
I know we can.
That was
What were we supposed to
awesome.
say?